Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 different raw jam recipes. I'm going to be using 3 different types of fruit as well as 3 different techniques for making the jam. All the jams are vegan, paleo, just like most jams are, raw, and 2 of them are also keto friendly. Alright, so let's start with the easiest jam. Blackberry jam. You can cook the blackberries, but since we won't be relying on pectin to help the jam set, there is no need to cook the jam. Simply mash the blackberries with a fork, leaving a few berries in chunks for some texture. The next ingredient is a sweetener. I'm using a monk fruit sweetener, but you can use any sweetener you like, a splash of lemon juice, and whole black chia seeds. Mix all the ingredients together and let the jam set in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. The chia seeds will absorb all the fruit juices, soften, swell, and gel, thickening the blackberry mixture to a jam-like substance. Transfer the blackberry chia jam into glass jars, and that's it for the first jam. The second jam is raspberry jam. I'm going to make this jam a little bit differently. Instead of just mashing the raspberries, I will puree them in a blender. The reason I'm doing this is that my daughter doesn't like seeds in her jam. The next ingredients are a monk fruit sweetener and a splash of lemon juice. Even though I'm using a high-speed blender, the puree won't be completely smooth. So once the raspberries are pureed as much as possible, strain the raspberry mixture through a fine mesh sieve. You will end up with the liquid of the jam in the bowl and the fruit and seeds in the sieve. Begin working the fruit through the sieve, leaving only seeds behind. This is where it gets a bit boring and messy, to be honest. You have to work the fruit quite a bit and use a spoon on the bottom of the sieve to keep the mesh clear. It's a bit time consuming but not difficult. To thicken the raspberry puree, I'm using ground white chia seeds to keep the jam completely seedless. I usually start with just a little bit, stir, let it sit for a few minutes, and then add more until I get the consistency I'm happy with. Transfer the raspberry chia jam into glass jars, and that's it for the second jam. The third and final jam is apricot jam. This jam is not keto friendly or low in sugar, quite the opposite. Dried fruit is quite high in sugar because all the water has been removed. So before you start making the jam, soak the apricots for a few hours so they rehydrate. Ideally, you would be using unsulfured sun-dried apricots because they contain no preservatives. But my children refuse to eat anything brown, so here I'm using sulfured apricots. Not ideal, but still better than store-bought jam. Add the apricots to a high-speed blender and blend them on high. I'm using a tamper to push the fruit down into the blades. If you don't have a high-speed blender, you can also use a food processor. Once the fruit is all blended up, transfer it into glass jars, and that's it. Easy and quick raw jams. we've got 3 types of jam here, and every jam has different texture. Obviously, it has different flavor too because it's different fruit. But I want Tana to focus mainly on the texture because I think that that is what you guys are interested in the most. So which one is your favorite?
Let me see. This one is my favorite. This one?
So Blackberry. Blackberry jam is Tana's favorite. This is the raspberry jam.
Raspberry jam?
Yeah.
The raspberry jam is a popsicle. The brand Popsicle makes real fruit popsicles. That's what that is. So not only could you use this as a jam if you wanted to, I think that if you stuck that with a stick in it and threw it in the freezer, that would be delicious. Like honestly, I think that's a really good idea. And I think that's probably maybe been done before, but that's the recipe that they use, I'm pretty sure. Which is good because there's very little in it. This one tastes just as it should. It tastes like apricots. I can't comment on the taste. The texture is perfect for jam, like right where it should be, thick enough. The consistency is smooth. It's good. This one is more like a puree. It's almost too runny, if you ask me. It doesn't like spill everywhere, but like it's definitely got more movement to it. Consistency wise, this one's right where it should be. It's jiggly. It holds together really well. And I think the flavor is bang on. Like it's really good. I think because it's probably fresh.
They're all fresh. Or what do you mean?
But like typically when you have jam, I would say that the sugar flavor is almost overpowering. But in this, the fruit flavor is what really comes through. And then the sweetness rides underneath it. So that's why this would probably be my preference versus like a store-bought jam. I mean, you could go and get Smuckers or something and all that, but I think what you're missing is that freshness from making it home. So there's my assessment.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.